Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Amit, and in today's video we're going to be talking about my 16-month update of the hair transplant that I got from Turkey. Alright, so for those who don't know, I got not one but two hair transplants done in Istanbul, Turkey from Vera Clinic. Back in the day, I was balding pretty badly. I had practically no hair on my head. I was losing hair at the young age of 24, and I decided about 8 years later to finally get that hair transplant done. So the first time I went, I got 6,100 grafts extracted from my donor area and placed onto my hairline and mid-scalp, and I documented that entire journey on the channel from the first month up until my 1-year mark. Now I wanted to do my crown as well because I was losing hair there too, but the clinics recommended me not to do it at that first sitting because it, one, a bit too dangerous, and two, a lot of grafts were needed for that segment of the hair transplant. So I decided to wait a full year. After documenting my entire journey, I went right back to the same clinic and I got my second hair transplant done. I got 4,000 grafts extracted from my donor area this time and placed onto my crown, a little bit on my mid-scalp and on my hairline as well to add a little more density. I've also been documenting that journey from the beginning as well, from my first month of getting my transplant done for my crown up until today, which is the 16th month. I'm trying to document this entire journey up until at least the 18th month because that's where they say your crown is mostly filled. Now, I'm trying to provide as much transparency to you guys about how a hair transplant journey is and how it actually looks after it's done for its full 18 months. If you like content like this, definitely do consider liking and subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. I post a ton of content about a hair transplant and of course my monthly updates. You guys can follow along my journey and hopefully watch me grow a full head of hair. I just realized my dishwasher was on the entire time during this recording, so that's fun. Alright, so let's talk about the update. This is month 16 of my second hair transplant. Honestly, it's been pretty good. I have seen more and more growth every single month that comes by. I remember at the beginning of this hair transplant, I had major doubts of it actually going through. I've heard such negative things about how long it takes for the crown to actually thicken up. It's safe to say that it has over time for me. Granted, I had a very wide area to fill for my second hair transplant. Having no hair a year and a half ago to having this much hair now, I can't be happier. Of course, there is the topic of it not being as dense as I would like it to be, but based off of how much I had before and how much I have now, I can't complain. I think a lot of people expect the best result all the time, but in reality, and hopefully my videos show that, it's not the case. I would love to go and try to fill that out, maybe try getting a third hair transplant, or maybe considering doing SMP, which is scalp micropigmentation. I could consider those things, but I'm not ready for that just yet. I think I'm gonna wait until that 18-month mark and really take a decision from there. As of right now, it's looking really, really good. The reality is that I think by the 18th month mark, it's not gonna be such a drastic difference. But hey, if it is, that'd be awesome. I would love to see that happen. But until then, I'm still keeping my hopes up, still taking the right aftercare that I have to take, and I'm waiting to see if that hair thickens up in time. Alright, so now let's jump straight into the 360 view of my hairline, my mid-scalp, the crown, as well as the donor area. I never know what to do during these videos, despite doing them so many times now. But let's just focus on my hairline instead. As always, it looks thicker than ever, and I'm very pleased with it. On the first side of my donor area, with my hair out long, I never see any scarring or overharvesting. Moving on to the back, the donor area looks as normal as it can be, despite having 2 hair transplants, and my crown is still slowly filling up. Slowly but surely. Finally, onto the last side of my donor area, where you can barely notice any thinning or hair loss. Alright, now let's jump straight into the close-ups of the hairline and mid-scalp, as well as the crown. The close-up of my hairline has never disappointed me. I'm very glad I went to Vera Clinic to get it done because they're very well known for getting hairlines to look as natural as possible. Even for my mid-scalp, the additional grafts I added here on my second hair transplant has filled up completely, with barely any spaces in between. As for my crown, I agree it's not at 100% density, but for what it is now, I personally think it looks really good compared to how I had it a year ago. There is a lot of bright light being shown on it right now, so it may seem like it looks a little thinner, but again, it doesn't bother me anymore, which is probably the best possible feeling I could have. Now's the time I show you the top-down view of my scalp from the first month of the hair transplant up until now, the 16th month. If you've been following my journey, you know how terrible the first 3 months of a hair transplant looks, but it does get better. The following 3 months gave me some hope, and the 6 months after that, I started seeing some density come in at a slow rate. From month 12 to 15, I saw the density sprout even more, and finally at month 16, this is how it's looking today. Okay, so let's talk about some aftercare. As I've always been mentioning in most of the videos of my monthly updates, I take a very strict and regimented type of routine. I start out every morning by taking finasteride. I take 0.5 milligrams every other day. I used to take 0.5 milligrams every day, but I decided to switch over to 0.5 milligrams every other day. The only reason I do that is because I want to reduce any hint of any type of side effects that could come. Most of these side effects include sexual side effects, lower libido, erectile dysfunction, and I don't want any of that. So I definitely take less than the usual amount. A lot of people are afraid of taking finasteride, but in all honesty, it's not that bad. I've taken it now for 2 years. I've never had any sort of side effects. It's totally fine to take it, but if you ever do feel those side effects, you can always stop the medication for 2 weeks and then kind of let your body get back into how it was, and you'll be totally fine after that. Together with finasteride, I take vitamins every single morning. There's a bunch of different vitamins I take, and I'll list them all out here on the screen, but the most important ones that I know for a fact are good for you are biotin, B-complex, and even zinc. These 3 are scientifically proven to help with hair growth, and I would recommend those the most. I take the others for just daily habit because I just like to stay healthy, and it generally helps me as a human being and feel good. So I would definitely recommend you guys taking those as well. The next thing I use every morning and evening is my minoxidil. I've been using this minoxidil brand, Growplex, for about 2 years now, and it's never really been bad for me in any way. I've definitely seen some hair growth by using it, and of course minoxidil does help with that. Minoxidil's main function is to help hair growth generally over any parts of area on your scalp. The catch is that you have to be consistent with it. If you're not consistent with it, you're not going to see the results. So if you stay consistent, and I know, trust me, it's very difficult to stay consistent, but if you are consistent with it and use it every morning and every evening, you will eventually see results. One good tip is to take progress pictures of your scalp throughout the months that you use it, and then you can actually visibly see how much of an effect it has on you. I also have a discount code if you'd like to try out formula. It is in the description below. Definitely check it out and try to get yourself a little discount. The next essential thing that I use on my scalp is the shampoos and conditioners. I use a brand called Revita High Density Shampoo and Conditioner. They have been really great for me. I have seen results from it. I feel like my hair is much thicker, much softer, and it just feels nicer to just use that shampoo generally. I don't use it every single day. A lot of people have asked me in my comments if I do, but that's not the case. I think if you use shampoo every single day, it's not really good for your hair too. But my routine now is I use it maybe twice or thrice a week, and I kind of space that out within the week. I don't do it one day after the other. So it really depends on what's in my hair on that day, and if I've applied too much oil or if I've applied too much product, then I start using the shampoo. But if I generally don't and I'm just at home all day, I don't have to use it every single time. But I also have a discount code on these products as well. They've worked wonders for me, and I definitely do think it will work wonders for you if you do try it and stay consistent with it as well. All right, the last thing that I'm currently using is rosemary oil. I used to use a bunch of different types of serums in the past, but honestly, rosemary oil seems to be the most effective for me. I've been consistently applying it every morning. I sometimes apply it at night, but I try to stick to at least in the morning. I've seen some progress from it, but again, it's probably a combination of everything I'm using. So it is a factual thing that helps for hair growth over time. I would consider adding it to your routine if you haven't already. I always talk about fibers in my videos, only because I think they are the best thing possible for anyone who is balding or losing hair. I used it for so many years on end before I started to get into a hair transplant, and also even after getting a hair transplant, I still used it. I do consider it a pretty important step for you into helping you build that confidence for yourself, because sometimes if you're not ready for a hair transplant, this is a great alternative to use as a temporary basis. Fibres are great. It's helped me cover my bald spots in the past, and I think it would help you if you need it as well. I don't use it as much anymore. Only on the very rare occasion I'd probably use it if I'm heading for like a wedding or a photo shoot or something, but other than that, it's not that bad. I have links to all the products that I've spoken about today in the description below. Definitely check them out. I only try to recommend products that I use because I think they are very essential and useful for your hair. Hopefully you guys find some value in that too. So 16 months have flown by. I can't be happy with how I'm looking. It's built me so much confidence, more than ever before. I feel like I've taken steps in my life that I would ever possibly do, but here I am filming videos about my hair to you guys to hopefully encourage somebody out there who needs help in getting a hair transplant. And speaking of help, I have a one-on-one hair consultation service that I help you speak about whatever you need about a hair transplant, whether it's about asking which clinics to go to or even what type of questions to ask the doctors. I'm your guy to help you. So do consider booking some time with me. I have a link in the description below. Definitely do check it out and try to book some time, and hopefully we can have that conversation together to help build your confidence right back. I recently spoke to somebody that I had a follow-up session with from my hair transplant consultations, and after 6 months I was video calling with him, and his hair had grown so much thanks to getting a hair transplant. And he thanked me a lot, and I felt really good about just helping somebody out there who I knew exactly how he felt because I was in that situation as well. So again, I'm here to help. If you do want to consider having a conversation with me, there's a link in the description below. Try to book some time, and I can definitely try to help you out wherever I can. Alright, I think that's all I have for you for today. My 18 months is coming up soon. I'm not looking forward to it because then I feel like I'd stop doing all my monthly videos. But I might come up with something else to kind of keep you guys engaged and at least follow up with how my hair is looking over time. Now, I do have a couple of very interesting videos coming out. I have a little surprise that I can reveal now. I'm actually going back to Turkey. So stay subscribed to see that video that's coming out. It is going to be a very interesting one. I think it will be worth your time. So definitely do consider subscribing if you haven't already. And of course, liking this video because it goes a long way and helps me make even better content for you guys. There's a lot coming up for me, and I'm working really hard to give you guys the best possible content, as well as create some stuff that will be very useful for you guys in the future. So stick around for all of that. It's all coming very soon. Appreciate every single one of you guys who've followed me along this journey. It's been such a wild ride, and I can't be more thankful enough because where I am today is only because of the people who have subscribed and liked all my videos. So I appreciate you all. All right, that's enough for that. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.